I think
Disaster.
without further ado, we'll go on to the big announcement. So we've been teasing it on social media for a few days now, but this decision has been probably months in the making. This is our last podcast as Sporting160EN. First of all, we want to give a shout out to the guys and girls over at Sporting160EN, João, Pedro, Mariana, and of course Tigres as well, for giving us this platform. Without them, we probably wouldn't have got as many viewers as we have. Probably wouldn't be able to do things like Arsenal Fan TV and have collaborations with Juventus, even in the past, Ajax, and all these wonderful people we've been interacting with. But we are actually rebranding to another sort of title, and I'm just sharing it here. We are now going to be known as All Things Alvalade. It's a decision that we think will be benefiting us and also benefiting Sporting160. There is no bad blood between Sporting160 and us. They haven't told us to change names. There's no bad blood. We're all friends, and we just want to say thank you to them for the opportunities. And they have given us an opportunity, and we're not going to deny that. But I think it's a perfect time to move on. I'll give it to Steph. Let's talk about favorite memories since we're rebranding. Sporting160, your favorite memory of being only affiliated with them, but also our podcast in the past as well.
So I'm gonna start from the very beginning, which was a conversation Sam and I had on Twitter. We both were doing a podcast with Pedro, which is he's a Benfiquista, but he did a podcast for the three big teams in Portugal: Sporting, Benfica, and Porto. And then with Cynthia, which is she's also Benfiquista. And then on and off, we had different Portistas. We had my nephew, and I forget the name of the other individual. Even his wife passed away. She was Benfiquista.
Kevin, that was Kevin,
Kevin
and Kerry.
And his wife passed away with a very bad disease, and God bless her. But we evolved from that, and then offline, me and Sam would say, hey, we should create something. We should do something for Sporting, for the English language, because in Portugal, they have many different podcasts, great ones, and Sporting160 is by far the best one. So me and Sam, we decided, he came up with the idea initially with Sporting Updates UK. And then, I was like, okay, that sounds good to me. And then since I was in America, in North America, and he was in England, we decided to do it. And initially, it was just an audio, me and Sam. It was kind of funny because it was no video. It was just me and him with a lot of willingness of doing the podcast alone. And we had maybe 3 followers: his father, my mom. I mean, there wasn't many followers at the time. But then we moved along, and then Chris became like a very number one friend of ours. And then I said, hey, let's invite Chris. And then Chris said yes right away. And then came along Danny, and then he said yes right away. And then in the meantime, we had other podcasters that came along, and then they left. And then the last one was Richard, because he's really good with thumbnails. He's really good with social media. He's really good with the internet. And then Sam and I and Chris and Danny, we said, we got to invite this guy. This guy's phenomenal with all the designs. And we evolved. And then we realized that, we could do it on our own. We don't have to depend on Sporting160 from Portugal anymore, which by themselves, they're doing fine. They're doing great. They're doing awesome. They have thousands and thousands of fans. Our market is different from them. They focus more in the Portuguese language, but we focus more in the English language. And this is why we officially decided to move on to Alvalade All Things, and then Strompcast. And but all the credit goes to Sam, Chris, Danny, and Richard. Richard is really good in all the designs, and he's like our brainstormer, the one who creates all these things. And if we lose him one day, it'll be. I hope we don't.
You're not. I'm here in the long haul.
Richard, man, you've got a release clause. If
we've all signed we've signed a lifetime contract. We're not losing you either, brother. We're all here until the end.
This is like Sparting. This is a lifetime commitment.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we already lost one person to Benfica one time.
I'm here to stay.
I'm going to buy them to stay with the Porto wine bottle of 50 years old or something. But I'm gonna wrap it up. It's been great with being Sporting160 with João Castro, Pedro Varela, and Mariana. But they have their own agenda, to be realistic, and we have our own agenda. Which their market is Portugal and everyone to speak Portuguese. Our market is more English. We're gonna be friends. We're gonna still do stuff together. Mas a vida continua mesmo assim. E grande abraço ao João Castro, ao Pedro Varela e à Mariana. Mas a gente temos que continuar com essa vida e o mais importante é que viva o Sporting Clube Portugal.
Couldn't put it better myself. Richard, I mean, shout out to you because you've been in charge of this rebrand, all the logos and thumbnails as Steph mentioned. I know you were sort of a late addition to the crew, but you've always been one of us at heart, I feel like. But
it started with because it was COVID and that was a title winning season, I believe. And I think I messaged Danny maybe, said, hey, you guys don't do any thumbnails on YouTube. Like, do you want it? Like, I got just some extra time. He said, fuck yeah, like, boys love this. We're going to do it. And then I came on a couple of times as a guest, which was awesome. And then Steph said, fuck, this guy's just kind of good. I think we should maybe get him full time.
Yeah. I told Sam and I was like, this fucking guy's good. We got to get him.
But yeah, I remember like I came on and you guys were talking about we're thinking of rebranding. We're not sure. I said, well, we can do it. I got no problem doing it. So I think we all kind of bounced around some names, and we settled on. So we were torn between two names. We settled on All Things Alvalade for the social medias and for the YouTube channel, and then we kind of settled on the podcast itself. Will be called the Strompcast. We wanted to give a kind of fun nod to the two kind of founders of the club. So all our social media, which will be being updated in the next day or so, you'll see as some version of All Things Alvalade. You'll still see a lot of the cool stuff, like the awesome documentary videos that Sam's been putting on the channel. So that's how why we want to keep it as All Things Alvalade, keep the podcast kind of its own thing. But you'll be seeing that stuff. The content's staying pretty much the same. It's going to continue to evolve. We're all here. It's like Sporting, it's like a marriage, and watching Sporting sometimes like an abusive marriage. but yeah, we're in it for the long haul. I have a blast doing this show. Like they're like, man, you put in a lot of hard work. I'm like, man, this doesn't feel like work to me. Like I like doing this stuff. Like do what you love. You'll never work a day in your life, right?
That's exactly how I feel about it.
Yeah,
same.
So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
The new branding is now live on Twitter if you want to go check it out. We're still working. Still have to finish the banner and a couple other things. But the profile pic and some other things have changed. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I consider all of the 160 Portugal people like friends and almost colleagues, to be honest, in this like space that we have here online. So I'm going to continue retweeting you guys and using you as a resource because you guys are good at your jobs as well. So I'm excited to continue existing alongside each other in this space.
Yeah, most definitely. And Danny, last but not least, feel free to take the floor.
I just wanted to also just a thank you to Sporting160EN. I think at the time when it was just us three, and Bruno as well. Shout out to Bruno and Nando as well. Shout out to Nando. And then, when we were doing it, they approached us, and it was a great idea. It brought us to another level. And then obviously Chris came in and took us to another level. And then obviously, like we mentioned, Richard came in recently, took us to another level. It's just something that makes sense. But of course, much love to Sporting160, the OGs. Pedro, João, Mariana, Zé. I'll also mention Zé. When we joined at least the Sporting160 family, even I don't know if people recall, but there was even a Spanish Sporting 160. I don't know if they're still out and about, but we all sort of joined that little huddle, that little bubble. Zed was a part of it, and it was kicking off, and it was big. And I think with the name, it helped us get the traction of like the Bruno Carvalhos, the Bruno Mascarenhas, Asbejug, I think was more us, but it helps having a name like Sport. It helped having
that's
a name
my
like
boy,
Sporting
man. He likes all my Instagram.
That is Sam's boy, though.
Sure,
that is Sam's boy.
He does.
But it was great memories, and like we said, there's no bad blood at all. It's just we want to go in a different direction. We feel a little bad sometimes. We like to poke the bear, and they get the brunt of it for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't understand.
People get mad.
Couple times they got the heat.
Yeah, people telling us like we're at school, like they tell
we're
our
at
teacher.
school, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's just better. I mean, seeing as we're all just doing our own thing as it is, anyways, it's better to have our own brand. It's better to have our own space, and it's better to not feel as guilty if we tell one of you fuckers to fuck on off. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But,
you thought the
no.
was unhinged before. We're gonna be so much more unhinged now. Screw all of you.
Exactly. But nonetheless, like we said, nothing changes. This is still Sporting. It's always been Sporting. That's all we care about. That's all we want. Hopefully it'll be the progression of Sporting. Hopefully more guests, more interviews, definitely more content. That's not going anywhere. And like you boys said, bro, this is like the best hobby I've ever picked up, and I picked it up in my adulthood, not even as a teenager. So,
you both.
this has been great.
My goal in life, to tell you guys the truth, is for my son to pick up my slack and
let's go
to keep going with Sporting All Things, Sporting All Things. Okay.
They're gonna rebrand too.
All Things Sporting.
They're gonna no. They're gonna rebrand to All Things Sporting. I like that.
Yeah.
And then Strompcast. It's something that Sam and I we initiated. And we hope it can last a long time. And
to be fair, Steph, shout out to Peter back in the day, 2016.
Mais Peter, så for people. Foundation date.
Man, he's too busy celebrating. He's not listening to this.
But our foundation date is you and I, and then we can give the rights to Danny, Chris, and Bitcher. Because they've been very proactive. But I'm very proud of all of you. And Sam and don't take it in with a grain of salt, Chris and Danny, but lately Sam and Richard, they've been a notch up with everything else. They've been really pulling a lot of hours in putting videos together, thumbnails, and they've been doing a great job for free. It's not getting paid for it, but I see what you guys have been doing, and I'm talking. I'm 50 years old, and
don't look a day over 21, Steph.
I'm really grateful, you guys. Sam, the last video you put together with the Academy attack,
that was really well done. I love that.
That was video. Months and months of work, and
well, I mean, you guys were involved. You had your interviews.
So. Yeah, slightly.
Sure, for the editing and everything.
You had the hard work.
That's it. I mean, it was nothing.
Wow.
But
we talk all the time.
And Richard, with everything he's done with thumbnails and with this presentation, with this, it's been phenomenal. Chris been available all the time. Danny been available all the time. You guys are phenomenal, and I gotta tell you, we should do a get together and do a podcast live together. I know it's difficult.
Yeah,
we live in 3 different continents, but never say never. Maybe at Alvalade. In one game, we go in before an hour before the game, and we do a podcast at the Alvalade. That would be my dream, actually.
Do you know what was annoying about COVID season? I feel like if it wasn't, we all probably would have been over there anyway.
Everybody would have tried to go over there, probably.
I'm telling you, in 2000, this is 2023, 2024.
I was thinking about how I was gonna finesse going over there, or how am I
saying, bro?
What a weird protocol do I have to do,
Yeah.
We could do it at Eagle Stadium. It's all
green.
Yeah, true. Me and Christian could pull up with a Bills jersey, but yeah,
They are playing at the link this season
during COVID. That would have been fun.
I'm just gonna throw that out.
I mean, I got the pleasure to meet Chris live at the Union's game, and then I got the pleasure to meet Danny at the Liverpool game against Sporting.
I met both of you there. I met Richard. Me and Richard went to go watch. My American boys. We went to go watch.
We got to
qualify for the World Cup against America 2-0 in Hamilton. Shout out to.
We froze our nuts
off
that. It was
holy,
so
my
cold.
toes were
Holy
gone, bro.
Shit. It was minus 20. Who planned that? It was brutal.
Sam, you're the only one we're missing, bro. So I think we all need to go to London.
I was just about to say, nothing's confirmed yet, but next year I might be visiting Toronto. So nothing's confirmed.
Oh, let us know. Let us know in advance because
guys.
I'll go to Toronto. It's not too far from us, so I'll make it possible.
I think the plan is Toronto and also America, but I don't know where in America. But Toronto, because I've got family out in Toronto as well, so we'll be going to see them.
Okay,
of course.
let us know. It doesn't have to be a soccer game or a football game. We can meet together for dinner or something, and then we'll do a podcast live together.
Yeah.
Now I'll give you a big kiss on your forehead.
I'll hold you to that.
Don't threaten them with a good time.
I've got you on record now.
I will because you have my son's name, so he has your name because you older than him.
Yeah. Well, it's a good name. It's a good name.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
It's a biblical name.
Yeah.
Which we need it nowadays anyway.
Yeah, more people need God. Need Jesus. Bunch of heathens out there.
Amen.
Mashallah.
But listen, guys, I'm super excited with this new adventure and All Things Alvalade and Strompcast. I love it. Love it.
Yeah. And just again to reiterate, João, Pedro, Mariana, Tigas, and Zed, forever grateful. You've helped us tremendously.
Tigas is the fucking king of modalidad. Jeez. Dude rifles him off. We've never quite gotten to that.
Yeah. I mean, I wish we could convince him to come to our podcast once in a while, but he's kind of busy.
Yeah. But every interaction, every podcast we've had with them has been great. So definitely no bad blood, nothing like that. We just feel we need to move in our own direction. But yeah, as you guys said, more content's coming. Podcast or Strompcast will still be just in the interest of like people with OCD. It's going to be 188, so we're not going to go number 1 because that would be.
We'll still call it the pilot episode, but it's going to be 188. We're going to just keep.
So we're keeping that. I like.
We're going to
keep
that.
Let me be honest. The only reason I really like that was because we're so close to 200.
200.
Yeah,
and it's such a nice number. And I even remember when Aaron was on. He was mentioning how he can't wait for Próxima Jornada to hit triple digits. The boys Portuguese corner, who I was supposed to film with them last week, but schedules didn't align, or not film, recorded them. They've just got to 100, so it just feels nice to be like literally the OGs of this space, especially with Sporting in North America or with the English language to speak.
There's a lot of.
So to have 188 still, that's the only reason why I really wanted it. That's it.
Well, there's a lot of people, like you brought them all up, like Próxima Jornada. There's Tom Condor from Portugal. There's
Portugal,
Portuguese football. There's long ball football. There's a lot of English. There's
there used to be some great ones. Fucking Steph, your boy. I forgot their name. I forget
the
their
Three
name
Tugas.
Was it the Three Tugas? It might have been the Three Tugas. There was like 4 or 5 of them. They don't do it anymore, but I think they were second to us. Let me say that.
They had something good going on, but then it was a conflict.
They had a great show. I think second to us because we're the best.
They were like the OGs from what I remember getting into podcasts. They were the OGs.
Yeah. I went to do a couple podcasts with them in one of the Three Tugas basement. Which he was Benfiquista, great guy. Both Benfiquistas were great, phenomenal. Nuno Portista was also great, phenomenal. But then they, for personal reasons, they couldn't go on no more.
And I think they were our first collaboration, Steph. If you remember, they were the first guest I think we had
Portuguista. On. What was his name?
Mike da Costa, right?
Mike, yeah.
Mike
Silver.
Yeah, but they had too much going on with their personal lives.
Of course, yeah.
But I'm really proud of what Sam and I hate to say it this way, but I have to emphasize it because it was not easy for me and Sam. Sam, when I met him, how old are you now, Sam?
23.
We're here, yeah, wow.
So when
I wouldn't sign myself on Football Manager anymore. That's how old I am.
When I met Sam, he was, how old were you? 18, 17?
13, literal child.
I think, 17 maybe.
Yeah,
17,
so
yeah.
I was a grown adult talking to a teenager. Then
Chris Hansen was showing up at the door, man.
Yeah, that's what grooming is called, bro.
That's how old sucks.
So Sam was a lot smarter than me, and we had the same passion. And then when we clicked together, it was like a father and son figure. And no, seriously. And then I sympathized with him tremendously. And he still has his sexy English accent. And then I had my Portuguese with French and American accent going on. So we said, okay, let's do it. And then it was all if you go back to
we have it on the channel. We have a playlist that has all of the shows.
And then he still has the logo and Sporting Updates UK. You can only listen to the voices, and Sam would he would come up with his English accent, well, upper English, and me with my fucked up English with Portuguese mixed, and that's how we started, and it's been a long time, and I'm really proud of it, and it's we had some ups and downs, but thanks to Chris and Danny and Richard, we've gotten much better. And I think we're going to be better and better.
And I'm sure there's people we've missed out on. I know Kevin used to be a part of and still interacts with us. So shout out to you, Kevin. There's going to be a few that we've missed. But
if we've missed anybody, just know you're the
Bruno.
Bruno.
There was a guy back in the day called the Professor. If you remember, Steph, was it the Professor? That was his name, the Professor. I can't remember his exact name.
Yeah,
that was his Twitter handle.
The other English kid. He was in our podcast not too long ago, a few months ago.
Another English.
Kevin. I think you're talking Kevin.
Kevin, yes. Kevin, yeah.
Kevin Fernandes. Yeah.
No, outro. He was really shy and he came along with
I don't know if you're meaning her, but I just want to give a shout out. Since we're shouting out people that have been here almost since day one. I mean, Dave Pereira's in the chat. Lauren, I don't know if you're talking Lauren.
Yes. Yeah, everybody. Lauren. Yeah, we yelled at some OGs.
Shout out Jordan Bentancur was in the chat. Shout out to Juicebox Leal. Juicebox Leal is always there. I fuck with you, Juicebox. Yeah. Who else, man? There's so many people to shout out.
Beatriz came when she came on.
Yeah. Can even answer Gabriel.
Yeah, Gabriel. Of course.
He's our number one fan. Remember, what was his name? Patrick. That's
it. That was it.
Patrick.
Yes. Come on. Patrick he's in
Portugal now, I think.
And then for that, whatever reason, it doesn't matter. He deviated. So
he was a man of few words. Patrick, I think is the best way to describe it.
But he was solid in his own opinion. He was very solid, and then he went away. But I'm glad we got to keep Chris and Richard and Danny and myself sometimes on and off.
Yeah, and we're all here. We all put in the work. A funny story. I think I've told this part. My first show was supposed to be that I ever watched. I don't remember how I fucking found this show. But you guys were gonna have Travante. I think somebody retweeted it.
I don't know how the fuck I found this show.
Maybe with the new rebrand, we'll get Travante on.
But I remember the first show I tuned into live was the Travante Williams show. And you guys were all excited, and I remember all the hype on your social page. That's how I found you guys, I think. And then it was yeah, he's not here. I was
I can genuinely say I was more excited for Travante than I was for Bruno Carvalho. I felt like
I will say the same. I was more nervous. I was more nervous for Bruno, I think.
Of course,
and I think that maybe made it
because we knew it would get at least over 1,000 views, which we never had.
Right? All the big shows, it was Sam and Danny and Chris. I mean, I was out of it, but I felt the stress for them. But I gotta tell you, the reason why we invited you, Richard, it's because we saw you voluntarily at posting thumbnails, and then we're like, "Fuck, this guy is great. This guy is doing an amazing job, and he's not even part of our podcast."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Sam, and Danny and Chris, I think we should invite this guy because this guy's all gone home." And then
after some convincing, no, joking.
Yeah, it took some convincing from someone.
I'm joking.
No, it's been a blast. I freaking love it's our therapy session some weeks, right? Like we need it. So I love doing this shit.